Hello, everyone. In this lesson, we are going to be talking about fossil dating. And so one of the things to look at is we've talked about fossils as being one of the evidences for evolution that support the theory of evolution by natural selection. So for this evidence, one of the things that scientists like to do is they like to be able to date the fossils to figure out how old they are. And there are two main ways of dating fossils. One is called relative dating, and the other one is called absolute dating. So how do scientists date fossils with relative dating? Here's what they do. They look at the position of rocks to determine the order. So basically what they are inferring, what they are assuming is that the older fossils are on the bottom and the newer fossils are closer to the top. So like if you look at this diagram, the fossils that are further down in the rock layer are older. So here you have 700 million years ago, then it goes to 500 million years ago, 200 million years ago, 60 million years ago. So they look at the position of where the fossils are in the rocks to determine how old they are. So if you think about the reason it's called relative dating is they can't really get an exact date for this. They can figure out how old the fossils are in relationship to other fossils and where they're found in the ground. So they don't actually do anything to get a real date. The other type of dating is called absolute dating. And this is where scientists are going to actually take samples from the fossil, and they are actually going to use radioactive elements to try to date the fossils. So one of the things that you've probably heard of before is carbon-14 dating. And if you haven't heard of it, you're going to see a little brain pop video that talks about carbon dating. Fossils younger than 60,000 years can be dated with carbon dating. Other radioactive elements can be used to date older fossils. So if you're using carbon-14 to date fossils, you're expecting them to be newer fossils. Older fossils, you'd have to use other radioactive elements to date them. What scientists do is they look at how much of the radioactive material is left in the fossils. So radioactive elements have half-lives, and what this means is that half of it will decay in a certain period of time. So in the case of carbon-14, half of it's going to decay every 5,700 years. So if I take a look at a sample of organisms, or if I take a look at a sample of a fossil, the half-life is going to be the time it takes for half of the material to decay. So carbon-14 doesn't start decaying. It doesn't start changing in living things. In living things, it's there. But when something dies, that's when the carbon-14 starts to decay and break down. And so if you look at how much is left in a fossil, you can actually figure out basically the age of that fossil. So the two main ways of dating fossils, we have relative dating, which is looking at layers in the ground, and you're going to be watching a little brain pop video on relative dating, and absolute dating, where scientists actually take a sample from the fossil and they actually date it using radioactive elements. And what they're looking at is how much of the radioactive element is still found in the fossil. So you will also see a brain pop video on carbon dating, which is a type of absolute dating. So that's how scientists date fossils. If you have any problems with anything, or if you have any questions, please remember office hours are 1 to 2 p.m. daily, Monday through Friday. And I'd love to see you there sometime. Just you can pop in and say hi. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.